2. And here we go. So what we're looking at, we're doing a quick checkpoint for an infographic on basically Hitler's ideology for women and children between 1933 to 1939, because our course runs from 1918 to 1939. And really what we're looking at is life in Nazi Germany. Okay? So Hitler had quite a developed ideology for women and children. Let's look at women first. Okay? So for women, we've got the 3 Ks. What are the 3 Ks? Kinder, Kirche, Kusha. Okay? Children, kitchen, and church. Okay? So this is how Hitler sees the role of women. He's an art traditionalist. Children, kitchen, and church. Now, the reason Hitler has such traditional roles is because in his autobiography, Mein Kampf, he says he wants to invade the Soviet Union, i.e. Russia, and build Lebensraum. So he knows there's a war coming. So he needs women to do something. That's create soldiers. Now, they're going to create soldiers for having babies. So he needs to get the birth rate up. So let's think of kind of one policy that he uses to do that. So let's talk about the Lebensborn project. Okay, Lebensborn. Lebensborn. So this is one way of doing it. So what kind of soldiers does he use for this? Aryan, yeah, but what the SS, okay, from the Schutzstaffel, okay, the black shirts. So SS officers were put in a building, and so that's one ingredient. And the other is that you need single German ladies, okay? So you needed single German ladies, okay, Frauleins, okay, and they would meet in a Lebensborn center, and the woman would choose the man that she liked the best, and they'd create a baby. Now she would either become a single mother or she would give the baby to a German family, okay, and this is one way of artificially inflating the birth rate for Germany, and it contributed, and birth rates did certainly go up. So that was one way of doing it. You had the Lebensborn project. Okay, now, what did he give to women who had lots of children? Well, the Mother's Cross. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. So he gave women the Mother's Cross, and you had obviously 3 levels: bronze for 4 to 5. You had silver for 6 to 7, and you had gold, which was 8 plus, and that was personally presented by Hitler himself. 8 plus. Okay, so you've got the Lebensborn project. You've got the Mother's Cross. We've got something else as well. Okay, so this is like his trinity. So loans. Okay, so a loan of 1,000 marks was given if women agreed to do what? Women would agree not to do something. Work. Okay? So if women agreed not to work, which would then make sure men would have jobs because they're taking out the unemployment statistics that way. For every child they have, for these newlywed couples, 1/4 of that loan would be reduced. So 1/4 per child would mean that it would be reduced. And if they had 4 children, yes, loan was applied. So 4 children, no loan. Okay? So Hitler had a very clear ideology for the role of women. Okay? And I think that's very interesting. And it kind of worked, but what's the contradiction in this? When did it stop working? When they had to prepare for war. So basically from 1937 onwards, what we see is a lot of women in the munitions factories. So from 1937, we see a contradiction in this. Right. Now, let's talk about children quickly before the lesson ends. Right. So let's go to number 4. So Hitler set up youth organisations because he believed in gender differences between boys and girls. All right. So what was the one for the boys called?
Hitler Youth.
The Hitler Youth. Thank you. Now, the Hitler Youth was really like Nazi Scouts. Okay, best way to think of it. Boys aged between 14 to 18. Now, what kind of skills would those Hitler Youth learn?
What age is it, sir?
Yeah, thank you. War games, 14 to 18. Okay, so they play war games. Yeah, so and games which also, physical fitness was paramount. Basically, he was militarising the youth, and they would learn Nazi ideology as well. So they'd be indoctrinated into Nazi ideology. We're getting this down, Fatia. We're writing all this down. Right, so hit the youth. Now, this is explicitly for boys only, okay? This needed to be ready for their role as soldiers. Now, girls joined what group? Yeah, the League, German League of Young Maidens. Of young maidens. So if boys were ready for war, what were girls ready for? Motherhood. Thank you. So they were being basically educated for motherhood. So they would learn things like sewing, cooking, domestic skills. Okay. Were they encouraged to be extremely physically fit? No. They would do exercises. Don't get me wrong, but it would nowhere be like what the boys did. How did Hitler want women to be?
A little chunky.
Yes. Okay. He believed that if women were actually a little bit more curvaceous, this would be better for child rearing. Okay. So he wanted them to be curvaceous. Okay. Now, there's another aspect to this, and this is kind of within education. What did teachers have to join?
The
Nazi Teachers League. Okay. Were Jews allowed to be teachers?
No.
All right. They had to join the Nazi Teachers League. What happened to the curriculum? It was Nazified. So, for instance, math questions were made to be militarized or anti-Semitic. Okay, so what we had was a Nazified curriculum. Okay, guys, that was perfect. I finished just on time. Let's back away. Thank you.
So I feel like what they've learned, like their life skills are better than our people.